Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Yudhishthir Narine, and today I will be presenting my close reading analysis on the prominent usage of various types of panel transitions in sequence within chapters 1 through 3 of the Japanese comic One Punch Man. One Punch Man is essentially a manga about a self-proclaimed hero for fun who is so strong he can obliterate his enemies with one punch. A stark contrast to heroes like Superman, the hero in One Punch Man has no limit to his power, thus his character forces appreciation of the vulnerabilities in seemingly invincible characters like Superman. Panel transitions refer to the manner in which authors relate two or more panels in sequence, manipulating the element of closure. Closure is essentially utilization of imagination to fill in gaps of perception and occurs in between panels. There are six main types of panel transitions. The first is moment-to-moment transition type, which requires very little closure and uses the least amount of time. Moment-to-moment transitions give comics a slow-motion feel and emphasize individual moments in a second-by-second basis. In addition, moment-to-moment transitions allow readers to have room to breathe. In this scene, the monster is attacking a girl. Here, a moment-to-moment transition makes the monster appear to move in slow motion compared to the protagonist, Saitama, who swiftly saves her. Thus, the transition effectively dramatizes the thrill and tension in the moments leading up to the hero's save. After Saitama eradicates the adversary, a moment-to-moment transition effectively contrasts with the previous action-to-action transitions of the battle scene in order to normalize pacing of time and movement. Thus, the transition helps accentuate lifelike feelings of the rush in a fight and the slowdown in the aftermath. In this scene, a monster crab looms right behind Saitama. A moment-to-moment transition shifts focus to the crab monster's enraged eye to dramatize the tone of surprise as well as to slow time and build suspense for the upcoming battle. The second type of transition, action to action, is the most common transition used in American comics, as it is used on average between 65% of all panels in comics. Action to action transitions utilize more closure than moment to moment transitions in order to feature a single subject in distinct action progressions. When Saitama fights a monster, an action-to-action transition focuses on Saitama's punch in order to display the magnitude of his power. The battle lasts 2 panels, thus the transition speeds up time to make the battle seem effortless. The transition also requires more closure and imagination from the reader in how Saitama executes his punch. The next transition type, subject to subject, stays within a scene or idea, but moves from one part to another and requires more closure and reader involvement in order for readers to understand. Subject to subject transitions allow readers more freedom to envision the scene in the manner in which they choose, and to emphasize particular events. In this scene, subject-to-subject transitions shift focus between Saitama and the crab monster to enhance conversation by allowing readers to focus on the speaking character's words and facial expressions. The crab grins as he talks about prey, which connotes a bloodthirsty tone. Then the panel shifts to Saitama, who is confused about who the prey is, and then the panel shifts to the crab, who walks away identifying the prey. In the aftermath of a battle, a subject-to-subject transition emphasizes Saitama's shout by shifting the camera angle and allowing the readers to see the scene from a scaled-out perspective. In this manner, the subject-to-subject transition enhances the pre-existing auditory stimuli by forming an illusion that the shout is far-reaching and is thus loud. The fourth type of transition is the scene-to-scene type, which requires deductive reasoning as it transports the reader across large amounts of space and time. Scene-to-scene transitions can compress time and thus help authors to deal with multiple moments that occur at the same time. At this point in the comic, a scene-to-scene transition facilitates a scene shift from the conversation with the crab monster to a new location somewhere in the city. The transition transports the reader through the time and space it takes the characters to arrive where the next scene unfolds. Based on the scene transition, it is safe to assume at least several minutes have passed. In this scenario, the scene-to-scene transition transports the reader across the city to witness the city's intercom emergency message broadcasted to the people and the people's reactions. The transition type helps to portray the intercom system as widespread and help to set a panicked or chaotic tone. Aspect-to-aspect transitions, the fifth type, give authors the ability to freeze time and can establish a mood, feeling, or emotion in a scene by setting a wandering eye. Aspect-to-aspect transitions are more popular among Japanese comics and help the reader become more emotionally invested in what is occurring in the comic. In this scene, an aspect-to-aspect transition simply creates a setting of city blocks and it reveals the location of the characters Saitama and a kid. The first panel is not bound by any time, while the second panel focuses on a location within the city. The multiple layered perspectives of the city help to enhance visualization of the setting. Here, aspect-to-aspect transitions help to show two moments that occur at the same time. The gushing of blood from the defeated enemy and the exhausted hero looking at the defeated enemy itself. By merging the two moments, the author gives the scene more dimension and lifelike reality of events instead of presenting the events in a streamlined sequence. The last transition is the non sequitur type, which offers no logical relationships between panels whatsoever. Thus, non sequitur transitions are relatively rare to see in comics that are both American and foreign made. The only non sequitur type transition used in the three chapters of this comic was a transition from the fight scene to a blank panel then back to Saitama. The non sequitur type transition separated the past with the present by marking the end of a flashback, and also complementary provided a relief from the tense battle scene to mentally rejuvenate the reader. These are my references. Thank you.